In this video, I want to share a business model canvas. Unfortunately, most of my clients have private information in their canvas because it's their strategy, it's their business model. And so it's not an easy thing to share in a very public forum such as these videos. So for those interested in diving into an example, I've decided I'm going to share the JFlinch business model canvas. So, this is not the most complex business, so it may not be the absolute best example to learn from, but it's how I think about my business, and hopefully it gives you some insight into how to think through your specific case of a business model canvas. Let's get started. We're going to walk through the business model canvas just a piece at a time and show you how I articulate each particular section of this particular business model canvas. Now, most people can start either with value proposition or with customer segments. It really is a choice depending on your perspective, depending on the situation of your business. For me personally, I'm a very value out centered person. That's how I think about strategy. So I always start with the value proposition. So the JFlinch value proposition is we help to build culture, leaders, capabilities, and operating systems. Those are the outcomes in which we delivered. Powered by lean thinking, which is core to what we are as a belief system, through the mechanisms, the delivery vehicles, of advisory service, coaching, video training, and speeches. So this is what we offer as a value proposition. Now, like any business, you may deviate or branch off of that opportunistically in many cases. And so there's many other things that I might do with JFlinch, but what do we do that provides value in perhaps a unique way? This, I believe, captures exactly what that means. Now, going to customer segments next is important if you really want to drive your market. I don't particularly drive my market in a very deliberate sales way, but I do think about who my customers are. And they really, for the most part, again, you always have deviations or branches off of your customer segmentation. But one is executives looking to transform their organization. And so that's one and perhaps the primary. And second are lean teams looking to accelerate or shift their transformation efforts. So I'm generally not engaging the full organization. I'm engaging one or both of two subsets of an organization to help empower them to drive the change that they need to drive. Now, in terms of customer relationships, this is important because it helps you think about how you shape your services. If you have a very transactional business, well, you need an easy in and easy out for that transaction. For me, my customer relationships are mostly long-term trusted relationships. They're built on trust, not based on contracts. Many of them are very long-term. Some of the people I work with as clients I've worked with 10, even 20 years ago. And so that shapes how I do things, and it really means that when I sell, I'm building a relationship. That's fundamental to me, and it might take a much longer time, far less transactional, definitely less contractual, but from my perspectives, as long as I deliver on that trust and the value proposition, much longer lasting. Then we look at the channels. How do we actually reach the market? And again, I'm not a very market-driven, I'm more of a value-driven perspective, and so I perhaps spend the least time thinking about my channels and managing them, and that's perhaps an opportunity, which is the type of thing we want to do when we look at our business model canvas of look at where we have strengths and weaknesses. But primarily my channels are referrals, people referring into a new business or into a new individual, and really inquiries from content consumers. So whether I write a book, do a webinar, give a speech, people that follow up on me having already delivered value through whatever that content is another mechanism of a channel. So this is the front end, right, of our business model canvas, understanding the value proposition how we engage with which customers through which channels. Now we look at the sort of back of the house. We look at how we go deliver that. What does that look like? So to me, I always start with key activities. It's the what your work is first. So we start here with key activities. And again, there's always extra things, but I think key is the main word, right? What are key? There's 1,001 other things, from paying your taxes to writing emails that go along with this. But what really is key? So coaching as an activity is fundamentally core. It's why I continue to invest in myself as making that a key capability. Content creation, both video and written. Here you see an example of the video content creation. Relationship management and support. So simply just staying engaged with old and new customers in a deliberate, managed way. This isn't just about CMS. This is really about staying in touch and staying engaged with people. And a key tool that we've developed is a cultural assessment. It's very much a unique tool, and therefore I decided to list it here, even though it's not the main part of the business. But what are key resources that help enable, most of the time, those key activities? In a lot of cases, these are assets, right? These could be patents, these could be equipment, things like that. For me, certainly less so, but some of it is important. So starting with this particular activity in mind, just video recording and production. And I don't do my own production, but having access to those resources are still quite important. Travel is a very important one for me, as most of my work historically has been at clients. And so just the resources of how I engage with travel resources, understanding it, optimizing it, not just about cost, right, about being at the right place at the right time, is pretty core to what my business has been. Online communication and collaboration has been an increasing key resource for many different reasons, especially the distributed nature of some of my clients and the higher cadence of needing support that might come up more frequently than my visits would allow. And then team operational support, right? So my resources that I plug into that help me execute what I need to, really couldn't do what I do without them. And then a group of independent consultants. I have many resources, some of which were former clients, some were former employees, some were former partners, that when there's work that goes beyond my own capacity or particular skill set, I engage that group, and so those critical resources to being able to help solve client problems. So partners, and some of these might be key, some of them might be a little less than key. I think the main resource is how much does it help enable your value proposition, or how irreplaceable is it? How hard is it to replace that key partner? So I use Vidler for video. It allows me to provide a private platform, log-on based, subscription based for my video. I work with a company called MG Strategy for the cultural assessment. It's their capabilities that I've been able to leverage in providing that particular tool. I've worked with others as well, but particularly Gemba Academy and Lean Frontiers for both content and outreach, whether it's podcast or speaking, or with many clients, we suggest they sign up for Gemba Academy to learn the fundamentals of Lean, and then we come in and coach them. And so that's been a key partner in value delivery for many clients. And perhaps most of all, these are by no means in order, the independent consultants for client service that I can pull in to provide value. Now, how then that shows up in the bottom of our business model canvas is the cost structure and the revenue streams. So the cost structure is fundamentally the support team itself, the independent consultants as they provide value to clients, the many software subscriptions that I subscribe to on a monthly basis, whether it's Zoom or the Google Suite or other things that I use to engage clients and support my own work. And of course, travel, a huge part of my cost structure. And then on the revenue stream standpoint, ongoing hours per quarter engagements is one way in which I engage and receive pay. So these are clients that we essentially agree on a rough outline of capacity and support, and then I provide that on a quarterly basis for a set fee. Ad hoc or event-based engagements, which are secondary to me, to the ongoing engagements. And then third is video platform subscriptions, which might be embedded in one of the other two or as a standalone set of revenue. And so that's how it all shows up. So here is my business model canvas. As I use this as a thought tool to help me shape where I need to invest more time, energy, or double down on providing value, which is my core thesis of differentiation by providing value in this way. And it helps me think about it, it helps me articulate it, and as I bring in other people, it helps me describe what we're trying to accomplish. So I hope this example provided value to you. In many cases, those of you building your own businesses or running an existing business, your business model canvas will be more complicated. But again, make sure you know what you're trying to solve for and understand before you decide what level of detail you go into, so you make sure you're informing yourself around your key decisions. Thank you for watching.